All right, welcome back. Again, I'm Mark Taylor, and this is Brendan Wilkes, and we're Pensacola Insurance Inspections, and we're so happy to be here with you tonight. We're talking about a lot of different inspections, but our number one are these wind mitigation inspections. Inspections put together by the Florida Department of Insurance. Insurance prices obviously have been on the rise. They said, what can we do to lower this? And they came up with these 9 things that if you have these on your home, you will save money on your insurance premium. So we're excited to be here. This is actually our very first BLAB TV show, hopefully not our last, but we want to get this word out to everybody in our area. We're saving about $1.5 million worth of premiums for our customers every year right here in Pensacola. Folks that we've done inspections for, from the smallest home that's worth 30 grand to multi-million-dollar mansions that we've inspected, about $1.5 million a year, not including commercial inspections that by themselves can save over $70,000 on wind premiums. It's pretty exciting stuff that we're talking about. When we left for break, we were going through the inspection. We talked about when your house was built, if it was built after March 1st of 2002. We talked about the predominant roof covering. If you've got new shingles or a new metal roof from Ivan or Dennis, and the discounts on that. And we were just talking about the roof deck attachment. We were talking about the size of the nails. If you go to the screen real quick, guys, the size of nails that are holding your decking on. We've talked about older homes. We've talked about tongue and groove decking. I live in East Hill at 12th and Marino Street. My home was built in 1940. Brendan, also East Hill resident down by Bayview Park. And we get discounts because of the tongue and groove decking that's in there. This right here is a picture of an 8-penny nail. This is the ideal situation in your attic. And this nail, depending on how close it's spaced together, will determine if you're going to save, how much money you're going to save. You could save anywhere from 5 to 9% or 9 or 10%. If you have this spacing right here, which is about 6 inches apart on every rafter, you're going to get the better spacing. If your spacing is spread out a little bit, like a 12-inch spacing, you'll still get a great discount, just not quite as much.
While we're going through that, it almost seems like you're blazing through it for somebody on the non-construction side. You know, if you're talking to a roofer, they got it. You know, they know exactly where you're at. Guys, what we're showing you, the picture that he's got on the screen there, was the truss in the attic. So if you look behind me on this in this attic here, sorry guys, I'm back and forth. You got to keep up. If you look at the attic behind me, you see this truss going up. Well, on top of that, there's decking that's nailed to the trusses. And the nail spacing that he's talking about is where the nails that hold the decking to the truss, and then the shingle is right on top of that. So you've got an 8-penny nail holding the plywood decking to the rafter or the truss. And then with the metal detector, we get in there and find out exactly the spacing.
You show them the metal detector there, Brendan?
Yeah, there you go. That's the...
You say, how in the world do you know the spacing on our nails?
How do you find the spacing?
It's in there. If the nails are sticking out everywhere...
When you hear this noise, you found a nail.
Yeah, we like lots of beeps. Lots of beeps save you money. And that's what we're going for. And by the way, I know we've already said it, but we're working for the customer. We don't work for the insurance company. We don't work for the agent. We're there with your best interest in mind. Try to save you as many lawful discounts as we can. If we can prove it, we're going to save you the money. If we can give you advice, consulting of things that'll save you even more money, we're going to do it. Our bottom line is to save you as much money on your wind insurance as we possibly can. And I'd say that it's worth at over $1.5 million every year we're saving the people in Pensacola.
And that's just on the residential. I know you keep throwing that out there, but you throw the $70,000 number right out there behind it. That has the $70,000 is one commercial inspection. Mm-hmm. That's totally separate from all of the individual families that are saving money. The $1.5 million is residential families saving money. Mm-hmm. What are we moving to? Hurricane clips?
Moving on to hurricane clips. Probably the number one question that we get is hurricane clips. So Brendan's got a little exhibit here. This is one kind of clip. There are many different kinds of clips, so we can zoom in on these.
Too many different types to bring. This is probably the most common in newer homes.
In newer homes, exactly.
In the older homes that were built in the 60s, 70s. I actually found in Cantonment found a clip that was a hey, there it is, a smaller one like that. Found a clip, this size clip. This is probably the most common one that we see on a daily basis. But up in Cantonment, installed when the house was built. The house was built in 1951, and it had hurricane clips in it that were original. which clips were not that prevalent in that time.
Very beginning of them.
Very beginning, but became more and more popular. So you say, well, this has only been talked about for the last 5 years. It's only been talked about in news and general conversation for the last 5 years. This has been code since
the 70s.
Yeah, 75-ish. It's been popular. Like Mark was saying, most of the homes in Scenic Heights, my dad's house was built in '67 and has clips. So as you go through and look at your house and you're thinking, I have an older house. It's not going to qualify for any of the discounts. It wasn't a model home. It probably doesn't have the nicer features. These were safety features that the engineers years ago kind of saw ahead of the time, and started using back then.
Yeah, good deal. So bottom line is, if you've got those clips, we've already talked about the roof, we've already talked about the building code, we've already talked about the roof deck attachment. If you've got the clips, this is probably one of our #1 discounts, anywhere from 18 to 35% on your wind premium. So the average wind insurance premium in town, let's say $1,000, right there, you're looking at $180 to $350 off every year. Can you imagine what you do with that little bit of extra money every year? We'd love to save it to you. We haven't even talked about prices. We normally charge $90 for a wind inspection. Now, let me also throw that on there. If we come out, if you're a little bit on the fence, if we come out, we look over your house and we can't save you any money, we're going to shake your hand, jump in our trucks, and move on to our next appointment. So we're not going to charge you if we can't save you money. That's just the bottom line. So rest in that. But normally we charge $90 for a wind inspection. Well, I've got some good news. I'm going to get off subject for just a few minutes. I was fortunate enough back in May 22nd, to be exact, I got married. And I married a beautiful woman, Amber Nicole Wilson Taylor, her maiden name, and she is pretty awesome. And we actually had not planned on having kids for a few years, but God had a different plan for us. About a month later, she's sick as all get out, and they go into urgent care and realizes that we're expecting. And I think I've actually got a picture here somewhere. Let me show you. This is, if we can go back to the computer screen, this is my beautiful wife here. This is us praying right before our wedding. We weren't supposed to see each other, so they made us hide on each side of the door. And here's an awesome shot after we could see each other. Sanders Beach Community Center, they did an awesome job with that place down there on the bay. And this right here is from this morning at 9 a.m. This is the ultrasound. We had no idea what we were in store for, but we've got a little boy inspector on the way. And I don't know if we're supposed to censor that or not, guys, but it is definitely a boy. And we're very excited about that. So we're actually running a Mark's First Baby Boy special right now. So you can get this wind inspection that will save you hundreds of dollars, possibly thousands, for the low price of $75 right now. What do you think about that, Brendan?
It's a good deal. It's a great deal.
It's a great deal.
And another thing, going back to we're listing a clip is this percentage, roof deck attachment is this percentage, predominant roof covering is this percentage. These are not coupons for a burger. You don't get one and throw the rest out. These are each one of them can save you more and more. So, for instance, if you've got, let's just use what we've done so far. If you've got a new roof, predominant roof covering is new, 8-penny nail, and hurricane clips. Mm-hmm. Add up what you got there.
You're looking at probably around 50% or more.
Right around 50% with those three, and that's the first 4 questions on the report.
We're only halfway done.
You got 5 more questions to add to the savings. Mm-hmm. Of course, you're going to get to a cap. You can't keep adding over 100%. They're not going to pay you to have the wind inspection, but they will give you discounts. You want to move on to...
Yeah, let's get into a roof geometry. This one's a little bit tricky. It just changed.
It's a fun one.
By the way, this form, a lot of you guys had this done through the MySafe Florida housing program that the state sponsored, that our tax dollars paid for a few years ago. There ended up being some issues with that, some unlicensed issues, some very incorrect data, even go to the extent of, say, there was some fraudulent issues. Most of that was in the South Florida area, not necessarily in our area. But a lot of guys had this done on the MySafe Florida for free. The state was paying people like us $150 a pop to do these inspections, fill them out, and go on. Well, when this form, part of all of this stuff, they revised the form back in the spring. we now have to provide full pictures of everything that we inspect, proving to the insurance underwriter the discounts that are involved. And one of the things that changed on that form was the roof geometry. Before, it was kind of shoot from the hip. If you pretty much had a hip-shaped roof, then you would get the discount. If you had all gables, you wouldn't get the discount.
So you can pull up a picture and I'll take it for a second. The form, when it changed, it went to a show me everything that I need to know about the house in the form of pictures. When the form started out, it was 2 pages, no pictures. Fill it out, check the boxes, and turn it in. And that's where a lot of the fraud. It wasn't really fraud. It was mistakes.
It was mistakes.
It was somebody not knowing that they're
the code,
not knowing the exact code, the way the form is written.
Sure. Whatever, yeah. But for whatever reason, the state had to make these changes,
right,
to tighten everything.
We've added they've added a lot of pictures to the form, and we're going to get into that right after this break.